Good afternoon everyone. So welcome back to your biology class. So before the puja vacation I was continuing the chapter photosynthesis in higher plants. Up to the C3 cycle or Kelvin cycle I have completed, and today I will start with the C4 pathway. Okay. So do you have any doubts related to the previous part? Okay. So let me continue with the C4 pathway. So as we have seen the Kelvin cycle, where it is called as C3 pathway, you know why? Because the first intermediate product is a 3 carbon molecule, that is 3-PGA. But in case of some plants, the first intermediate molecule is the 4 carbon compound, which is oxaloacetic acid, OAA, and it is a 4 carbon compound. As it is 4 carbon compound, that's why this pathway is considered as C4 pathway. Some plants which are mainly found in the dry tropical regions, they will show this C4 pathway. What are the different examples like sugarcane, maize? In this particular type of plants, this C4 pathway can be seen. Okay. So if I ask you that what is the first carbon dioxide fixation product of this particular pathway, so answer will be oxaloacetic acid, and it is a 4 carbon compound, that's why it is called as C4 plants. And these C4 plants are quite special. These plants mainly can be found in the dry region, and these plants are special. What? On the which basis? Because these plants are having a different leaf anatomy. Okay. So they with the help of that they can tolerate higher temperature. C4 plants can tolerate higher temperatures, and they can respond in the high intensity of light. Okay, and they lack a process which is called as photorespiration. So they lack a process which is called as photorespiration. Now you don't know what is photorespiration. After this C4 cycle I will discuss what is photorespiration. And so these are the some special characteristics of leaf in C4 plants. Now if I ask you what are the differences between C3 and C4 plants, after this C4 pathway you will be able to answer the question of this particular one, that there are differences. Okay. So that if you can see that vertical leaves of a C3 plant and you can see the vertical section of a C4 plant, you will find some differences. What differences? In C3 plants you will find the mesophyll cells only, but in C4 plants a particularly large cells around the vascular bundles can be found. This beside the mesophyll cell, another bundle sheath cell is found in this particular plant, and so these cells are called as bundle sheath cells. So what I have mentioned, that the particular large cells around the vascular bundles in case of C4 pathway plants will show a bundle sheath cells. Okay. So first we will find mesophyll cells, and beside that in the quite inner portion we will find bundle sheath cells. And this special anatomy of leaves in case of that plants is called as Kranz anatomy. This is called as Kranz anatomy. Kranz means wreath. Okay, crans means wreath. So, and it is a reflection of arrangement of cells. Now, these bundle of seed cells can form several layers around the vascular bundles. Okay, and they are characterized by having large number of chloroplasts and thick walls that is impervious to gaseous exchange, and no intercellular space will be there. Okay, so now if we cut a leaf of a maize or sorghum, you will find this type of crans anatomy and this type of special modifications. Okay, now so a question may come like that: what are the differences in anatomy of leaves in C3 and C4 plants? Then these one are some points. Now I will discuss about the pathway of these particular plants, and it will be better if you open your book and open the page number 219. There you will get the diagrammatic representation of the C4 pathway, and this C4 pathway, it is having an alternative name which is called as Hatch and Slack pathway, because of the name of the scientist who has discovered this pathway. Okay, so I hope you have got the diagram. So you can see that two parts are over there. First one is mesophyll cell, and under this there is a bundle seed cell. Why bundle seed cells are present quite inside? Because as they are surviving in the high temperature region, so the C3 cycle or Kelvin cycle will occur only in that particular temperature, and for that region bundle seed cells are quite inside, so that they can maintain a temperature, and it will be not Kelvin cycle will occur in the bundle seed cell, not in the mesophyll cell, because mesophyll cells are directly in contact with the high temperature and light intensity. Okay, now you can see, okay, let me show you the book. Okay, this pathway, I hope you can see the book properly. So it will be better if you open your own book. Okay, so first one is mesophyll cell. There you can find that atmospheric carbon dioxide is accepted by, first what happens, carbon dioxide plus CO2, sorry, H2O, then it forms H2CO3. Okay, then it dissociates, and what happens, that this is accepted by phosphoenol pyruvate, or in short we can call it PEP, phosphoenol pyruvate. Okay, so first and for this an enzyme is responsible which is called as PEP carboxylase or PEPcase. PEP means phosphoenol pyruvate. So the enzyme is phosphoenol pyruvate carboxylase or PEPcase. In short we can call it PEPcase. Okay, so this enzyme is helping in this particular fixation. Okay, and so carbon dioxide is fixed. Now it can form a C4 acid which is considered as oxaloacetic acid. You can find it that arrow comes down which is showing C4 acid, and what that particular C4 acid is the oxaloacetic acid. Okay, so the Kelvin cycle in the previous one, Kelvin cycle was occurring in the mesophyll cell, but in this particular one, that Rubisco enzyme is not present in the mesophyll cell. These mesophyll cells lack Rubisco enzyme. That is why that particular pathway will not occur in the mesophyll cell. Okay, that's why an intermediate C4 molecule has been formed. Now this 4-carbon compound will converted into another one which is called as malic acid or aspartic acid in the mesophyll cell itself. and after this malic acid or aspartic acid will be transported to the next cell or adjoining cell, that is bundle sheath cells. Okay, now you can see a arrow comes down through the passage into the bundle sheath cell, and then C4 acid will be broken down and it will release carbon dioxide and a 3 carbon molecule. You can see that decarboxylation is occurring as CO2 is moving out. So, decarboxylation carbon molecule will be removed. So, this one will be fixed in the Kelvin cycle, and the C3 compound will again transported into the mesophyll cell. Okay, and this one is the pyruvic acid. So, next the C3 or Kelvin pathway, you know that this pathway is common to all plants, but the position it is different. It is different in different types of plants like C3 and C4 plants. Okay, now the bundle sheath cells are rich in ribulose bisphosphate carboxylase oxygenase, that means Rubisco enzyme. So, for this Kelvin cycle, as you know that Rubisco is required. So, in the bundle sheath cell the Rubisco enzyme is present, but pepcase enzyme is not present. That is why, and pepcase is present only in the mesophyll cell. So, the first activity will occur into the mesophyll cell and the Kelvin cycle will occur in the bundle sheath cell. So, ultimately this one will result in the formation of sugars, and this is the main differences between C3 and C4 plants. Okay. So, these two pathways are very important for your exam. You have to read both the pathways very carefully. Now, you can find a table is there, that is in page number 221. If you fill that table, you will be able to find out some differences between C3 and C4 plants. I will suggest you, after reading these two pathways, try to fill that table, and if you can't, if you face any problem, I will help you to solve it in my next class. Okay. So, before I can help you today also, but I will suggest you that it will be better if you try it by yourself at first. Okay. So, we will solve it tomorrow. Before that, another part is left, that is photorespiration. I have used that term, that in C4, in bundle sheath, they lack photorespiration. Now we have to know what is photorespiration. So, you can see a term is there, photo. You know the meaning of that particular term, photo. Photo means light, and also you know the meaning of the term respiration. Okay, so in plants, what is the meaning of this particular photorespiration? First we have to understand that to understand for photorespiration, first we have to know about the first step of Kelvin cycle. If you can remember, just take it from the book, which one was the first step of the Kelvin cycle, that is carbon dioxide fixation step. So, check it. So, you can find that in this particular reaction where RUBP combines with carbon dioxide to form two molecules of 3-PGA, and the enzyme is required for this particular reaction, that is Rubisco. Got it? I hope you can remember. If you can't, then you can check it once. So, first step of the Kelvin cycle was that carbon dioxide will be fixed with the help of RUBP, and which is a 5-carbon compound, and 2 molecules of 3-PGA will be formed, and an enzyme, the reaction will be catalyzed by the Rubisco. So now if I write the reaction, then what happens in that particular case? RUBP plus CO2. Next, what enzyme is required? Rubisco. So what is the full form of Rubisco? CO, RUBP, carboxylase and oxygenase. So this particular enzyme is having both the activities like carboxylase and oxygenase. In this particular one, this enzyme was acting as carboxylase because we needed to fix the carbon dioxide. So what will be formed? 2 molecules of 3-PGA. Now that one we know. Now another thing I have mentioned, that which is the most abundant enzyme in the plants, that is the Rubisco. Rubisco is the most abundant enzyme in the world. Okay. And why? If I ask you why, because it is having, as you have read in the enzyme part in the biomolecules chapter, that the enzymes are having some active site, substrates are binding with that particular active site. Okay. So for this particular enzyme, it is having active site for both carbon dioxide and oxygen, both CO2 and O2. That's why it can act as both carboxylase and oxygenase. Okay, and that is why also its name is like that, and it is the most abundant enzyme in the world. Now, how will you define that when Rubisco will bind with carbon dioxide or it will bind with oxygen? So the affinity is quite different, that it is having much higher affinity for carbon dioxide than oxygen or O2. Okay, so affinity is quite greater, or we can write it like that, CO2 like that. Okay, because by this I want to explain it, that affinity for carbon dioxide, for this part binding carbon dioxide in the active site, is much higher than the oxygen. Now this type of binding you can call it competitive. In the enzyme you have read competitive, non-competitive, like that type of competition. So that is the competitive. Okay. So when the relative concentration of carbon dioxide and oxygen, and that means how it can be determined, that it can be determined by the relative concentration of carbon dioxide and oxygen, that determines which of the two will bind. Okay, so you know that in competitive exam binding, what happens, that two are competing for a particular active site. So this type of activity is showing in this particular case. So C3 plants, in C3 plants some oxygen bind to Rubisco, hence what happens, carbon dioxide fixation is decreased. In C3 plants what happens, as it is having the active site for carbon dioxide and oxygen, some oxygen is binding with that active site of the Rubisco enzyme. So if it is occupied, active site is occupied, since the enzyme will not be able to bind with anything else, so it will not able to fix the carbon dioxide, because enzymes are required, it may act as carboxylase. So the carbon dioxide fixation will be decreased in case of C3 plants. Now if oxygen binds, then the product will be the different also. So the RUBP, instead of being converted into 2 molecule of PGA, It binds with oxygen to form one molecule of phosphoglycerate and phosphoglycolate. So, what molecules will be formed? Phosphoglycerate and phosphoglycolate. Now, you have seen that what happens when it binds with carbon dioxide, but if it binds with oxygen, then it will not convert into two molecules of 3-PGA, else it will convert into one molecule of phosphoglycerate and phosphoglycolate. Okay, so if oxygen binds, these molecules will be formed, and these formation of these two by this particular pathway is called as photorespiration. A series of events are occurring and ultimately these two are forming. You don't have to read the pathway, you have to just remember the products. Okay, so these are the products of photorespiration. So, in this photorespiratory pathway, we will not get the sugar or we will not get the ATP, and it results in the release of carbon dioxide with the utilization of the ATP. In the previous one we were releasing the ATP, but in that particular case we are using the ATP and releasing the carbon dioxide, and no synthesis of ATP and NADPH in this particular photorespiration. So, can you call it that it is a waste? Obviously we can call it, because our aim for this particular C3 pathway or carbon dioxide fixation was that to form starch or carbohydrate in that particular plant and the formation of ATP and NADP. But when it binds with oxygen, anything is not forming, and that is why we can call this photorespiration as wasteful process. It is a just waste of that particular enzyme. Okay, as it is not giving us any helpful things. Okay, so but it is the advantage in C4 plants that in C4 plants photorespiration does not occur, because they have an mechanism that increase the concentration of carbon dioxide at the enzyme site. Okay, as I have mentioned, if the concentration of carbon dioxide is more, then the enzyme will bind with only carbon dioxide. So, they are making some modification by which they are increasing the concentration of carbon dioxide so that the enzyme can bind with can bind with carbon dioxide. So, this takes place when this takes place? This takes place when the C4 acid, that means oxaloacetic acid, from the mesophyll cell into broken down in the bundle seed cells and release carbon dioxide. You have seen that when it is in the bundle seed cell, decarboxylation occurs and the carbon dioxide was released. So, if they are releasing carbon dioxide, so the concentration of carbon dioxide will be high there, and as a result what will happen? The increasing concentration of CO2 will help the Rubisco to bind with carbon dioxide, and it will function as carboxylase and it will minimize the oxygenous activity. So what will happen? Photorespiration will not take place. Okay. Now, as we have came to know that C4 plants lack photorespiration, so you can understand by this that why productivity and yields are better in these plants. Okay, why productivity and yields are better in these plants? Because they lack photorespiration, they are not having any wastage mechanism. So in C4 plants the productivity will be quite high. So that is all about photorespiration. Now I have given you a homework, that is you have to fill that table, and only some factors affecting photosynthesis part is left. One day will be required for completing this chapter, and after this chapter we will move to the human physiology. Clear everyone up to that portion? Okay, so read that part at your home, and if you face any problem, ask me in next class. Okay, so thank you and bye bye for today.